I started to produce, to set about producing ethical jewellery because I saw there was a huge opportunity in the recyclability of precious metals, and that I realised that people were experiencing problems in sourcing freshly mined ethical metal, but saw there was an enormous amount of precious metal that could be recycled so that we could produce 100% recycled jewellery.
I started making jewellery in April last year. I've been making jewellery for about 10 years, and I read about all kinds of things, not just techniques, but also I read about all the environmental and social impact of jewellery making. I was just so shocked reading and researching all of that information that my first reaction was, okay, if jewellery, it involves such social and environmental harm, maybe I don't need to make jewellery. But then I read a little bit more and found out that there are actually people who use so-called ethical materials, fair trade gold, fair trade silver, or recycled silver, or whatever all those terms were at the time. And that's how I slowly, while setting up and learning, setting up my studio and learning, I learned about less harmful ways of making jewellery.
I think the trend towards ethical jewellery in recent years, and ethical debate in recent years, has been fueled by the trade's reaction to conflict diamonds and the instigation of the Kimberley process, the foundation of the Responsible Jewellery Council, and people's awareness and the No Dirty Gold campaign from CAFOD. I think a lot of these NGOs have brought about an awareness amongst the trade of the need for ethical jewellery. And I think that the trade's been very proactive in reacting to that, possibly slightly before the general public are actually asking for it.
Jewellery is a luxury item. Nobody needs jewellery. And if it is tainted with too many issues and there is no transparency and people don't know what is ethical, what is not ethical, if it's too confusing for the consumer, they might just decide to wait before they buy anything. And it's an emotive issue, and I mean, if you just look at the beers, how with their very clever marketing campaigning, they've raised diamonds to such a high value, to such a desirable object. It could also go the other way if negative marketing is there. It could also affect the desirability of jewellery. But in terms of ethical jewellery, we have a positive story again. It will be a positive story where that ring comes from, where you know which mine, which artisanal miner might have taken it, rather than a worry whether it actually comes from the Congo and is funding the civil war there. So I think it will affect all of us, because more and more people will start asking questions about the provenance.
I think that the ethical trade and green issues and fair trade issues are definitely here to stay. And you've only got to look at how big companies are responding to this. People like Cadbury going completely fair trade. They're only doing that because they know that these issues are here to stay, and that the consumer is going to drive more towards ethical and green product. There are some challenges to be faced in sourcing ethical jewellery. We've found it extremely difficult to buy, for example, ethical findings in this country, bolt rings and jump rings and that sort of thing. But we've overcome those challenges. We have been able to source them, and if we haven't been able to source them, we've made them ourselves. And as we've been going through this process, we've found that more and more companies are looking towards sourcing ethical product. And as the companies are doing more of that, then I think the retailers will find it easier to buy the product. I think the main opportunity for retailers who want to try and source ethical product, which they can now do quite easily, is to stand out from their competition, put their head above the parapet and say we are trying to be as ethical as we possibly can and source ethical product. And I think the general public will respect that and realise that they are a leader in what they're trying to do, and they will do business.
During the great debate, I'm certainly very honoured to be invited, even though I'm not necessarily a natural speaker. But I'm very keen to actually share all the research that I have done for about 3 months. And once you know the information, it's terribly easy.
I wanted to get involved in the great debate at IJL because we will be exhibiting our first collection of 100% recycled jewellery at IJL. Nothing in the jewellery that we've produced will have any mining implications whatsoever. It's all 100% recycled, even down to the clasps and the fittings. We're not using any proprietary findings at all in the jewellery. It will be launched as a brand and will be in 100% recyclable packaging, and everything about the brand has a sustainability to it.
So I hope the great debate, the speakers, all of us will be able to offer visitors some insight where the debate is at, offer some, just share our experience, what it's been like for us to start an ethical jewellery business, to work as an ethical jewellery business, what challenges we have had, how we've overcome them, and also some very, very practical tips on where to find suppliers, where to find further information, who to talk to, who can help, maybe funding, maybe this. I mean, there's so many questions. I still have so many questions.
The retailers that we've spoken to already about what we're planning to launch at IJL have all welcomed it and all thought that it would be a very good idea, and many of them are extremely keen to stock it. And we've already got interest from one of the leading department stores in the UK who are actively going down the green and ethical route right across their business. And so I think it's become apparent from research that we've done that people are going to be going to IJL specifically to source ethical product. And I think that's quite important, and that's come to the fore in the last 12 months. And I think that the great debate is going to help them to do that, because it is going to answer questions for them and open up suppliers to them who are, like ourselves, actively pursuing an ethical route.
And I hope what we'll be able to offer visitors to the great debate at IJL is inspiration and courage. It's the inspiration that yes, we can do it. It's not, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. There is already lots of groundwork has been done. Yes, there is, we're at the beginning of it, there's still lots of work to be done. It's not an easy task, but there are already lots and lots of ways of doing it that people, we are happy to share and experience.